Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Fat Loss at 40. This is Ryan from down here in Houston, coming to you from day 26 of our 90-day weight loss challenge. It is a Saturday, and we are crushing this weekend. Now, I did fail a little bit because I'm supposed to be doing a video every day of this weight loss challenge where we're trying to lose 45 pounds in 90 days. But yesterday, day 25, was not able to make a video for various reasons, work, family, etc. So I'll give you a quick recap. We were really good on the calorie count, 1,600 calories yesterday on day 25, which allowed us to wake up and step on the scale for the low so far of this challenge. Started at 230. Now on day 26, we weighed in today at 221.8. So we've officially lost over 8 pounds in 25 days. 5 days to go until day 30, which is essentially 1 month. And I honestly think we could be looking at a 119 or 118 on the scale because I'm hitting the weekend right now. It's Saturday and there is no stopping me. I am not going to cheat on my routine. I've already walked 2 hours this morning, just carb loaded. I almost never drink juice, but I'm going to take this orange juice down right after I'm done talking to you guys real quick. It's 160 calories, a lot of carbohydrates. That's going to be very fast acting, hit my muscles. It's going to allow me to have a killer back workout. Including that orange juice, I'm at 1,400 calories already for the day. What I'm trying to do right now is keep my calorie intake very close to my workout. I want to do afternoon workouts, and I want to eat a lot of my carbs before that workout and then eat a high protein meal with a little bit of carbs after that workout. So I'm at about 1,400 calories. With all the walking and going to the gym, I'm probably burning 3,000 today. So I think a nice ribeye steak with a sweet potato will be my after workout meal. After this, I'll have it real early, probably have it at 2 o'clock, and that'll be my meal for the day. We're gonna step on that scale tomorrow at 221 or under, baby. All right, guys, so just got our lift in. Now there's one last thing to do up here at H-E-B, and it's time to get some meat. When it comes to getting good steaks in Texas, H-E-B definitely has the best selection of prime cuts. Prime just means the steak is gonna have the best marbling, and I'm definitely gonna get one of these New York strips here today. So let me go ahead and take a moment to pick this out. All right, guys, so let me tell you something cool about H-E-B. So I was looking at those New York strips, and they didn't have any steak the exact thickness and weight that I wanted. I was looking for a steak that was about 1.5 inches thick, closer to a pound. All the steaks that they had out on display were pre-cut to about 0.85 pounds. So I said, hey man, can you get me a 1.5 inches thick New York strip? And they said, no problem, give us about 3 or 4 minutes. Bada bing, bada bang, all right? So now they custom sliced me a 1.25 pound New York strip. So now let's get home, cook it up. Okay guys, before I ever cook anything, I always like to make sure I've got all my ingredients that I'm gonna be using. So I've got the steak, my herbs, which is rosemary and thyme, butter, olive oil, garlic powder, pepper. I'm scoring the fat back portion of the New York strip. What that does, it allows the fat from that area of the steak to render so that it becomes nice and sometimes crispy, but a more edible portion of the steak, and you don't have to cut as much off if it renders nicely. The reason I'm patting it dry is because I don't want any moisture on the surface of my steak. The key to getting an amazing, flavorful steak is to have a great sear on it. Anytime there's moisture on the surface, that's going to create steam, which will not go towards giving you that great crispy sear you want on the outside of your steak. So what we're going to do, because this is a 1.5 inches thick, 1.25 pound steak, we're going to go the reverse sear method. That's where you cook it at low heat first, and then put it on a hot surface to finish it. So we're going to go in the oven, 200 degrees for 20 minutes. I'm rubbing some olive oil on the outside of the steak to act as a binder for the seasoning and herbs that we're about to place on it. So now the steak has been nicely coated in olive oil, and I'm going to apply some garlic powder, And the key when you're using seasoning, when it comes to application, is do it from high so that there's a nice even distribution. If you're trying to put the seasoning in your dispenser is too close to the steak, you're not going to have a nice even distribution. So I'm doing the same thing with the pepper, coming from up high, getting a nice even distribution. And I do like to pat that seasoning in. I find that it does help kind of keep it on the meat. Alright, so now that we've got the pepper and garlic powder on the steak, we are going to make a coating of herbs using thyme and rosemary. We're going to put these herbs on both sides of the steak while it's in the oven at 200 degrees for 20 minutes. This is going to do a couple of things. It's going to act as an aromatic that just gives an amazing aroma, fragrance to the meat. It's going to impart the flavor of the herbs onto the meat, but it's also going to protect the exterior of the meat from getting more well done than I want. Now, because this is a workout recovery meal, we need a side with our steak. We need to get some carbohydrates. So there's nothing better in terms of a healthy source of carbohydrates than sweet potato. So this is how easy a side of sweet potato is. Just skin it and chop it like you just saw, nice big chunks, and throw it in some boiling water. We're going to let that cook while the reverse sear is happening. Alright guys, so we got the steak out of the oven. This is what it looks like when I remove the herbs. Now I'm going to put the salt on it right before it hits the cast iron skillet. The reason I didn't put the salt on it when it went into the oven, because that would have extracted moisture out of the meat, giving us a watery surface. And that's not what we want for a good sear. So now I'm going to put a nice coating of salt on both sides. Now, when you're cooking a steak this thick, you really can't over salt it. A lot of that stuff's going to wind up in the pan, and the steak is so thick, you can't over salt it. Now, one of the little tricks to cooking New York strip is to actually put that fatty portion down first. It does a couple of things. It helps render that fat, but it also coats the cast iron skillet in beef tallow, which is going to be great to keep your steak from sticking to the pan and helping it get that nice coating and sear that we're looking for. Alright, now we go our first side down, and you want your pan hot, guys. You hear that sizzle? That is what you want to hear. If you don't hear that sizzle, your pan is nowhere near hot enough. You're going to want to see smoke coming off your cast iron skillet, and it's got to be that hot to get the sear we want quick enough without over doing the interior of the portion. We're going for medium rare here. You saw I just put a little more salt on that one side before I flip it. That extra salt's going to help me get the sear I need. So we're just about ready. It's been about a minute and a half, and we're going to do our first flip. Now, after our first flip, this is when I add butter to the cast iron skillet, as well as a little bit more thyme and rosemary. And we're just going to let that butter melt into the herbs, and it's going to make kind of a nice coating, an herby, buttery coating for that steak as we finish it off in the pan. So now that we've got our first side seared, now the process is we begin flipping the steak more frequently. The pan is continuing to get hotter. I've got it on very high heat, and we're going to begin to turn the steak regularly to give it that nice coating with the herb butter and to make sure that the sear is even on both sides. Alright guys, now you really see the sear we're looking for. That is the color you want. If you don't have that color on the outside of your steak, it's not going to be A1, steakhouse caliber steak. Now, when your steak is this thick, you might be real scared that you're going to make it too well done, but you got to get that sear. So that's why we're going to start turning the steak like every 10 seconds now here in a second, because the sear is where we want, but it might need a little bit extra heat to get to that internal temperature. I don't want it to be rare. I'm looking for medium rare today. Alright guys, plating is super simple, so I've just had those sweet potatoes boiling while I do the finishing searing on my steak. Put those right on the plate after straining. Throw a half tablespoon of butter on there, drizzle of olive oil with some salt, and I promise you guys, this is an amazing side for a steak. It looks really simple, but I've had it many times. It's a wonderful pairing. And then there you see our New York strip. I kind of sliced it on the cutting board for the plating, and you can see we hit that perfect internal temp, super juicy. Very excited to eat this. This is great for recovery, carbohydrates, protein, clean. And guys, it was so easy. I mean, even recording it was easy. So you guys have a great weekend. I'm done cooking. Okay guys, so the day is in. All eating has been accomplished. We got our last bite of food in at about 5 o'clock. I would say the only thing that could have made this day more perfect was if it would have been 4 o'clock or even 3:30. But you know what? I took the time to film making the steak because I wanted you guys to see how delicious it can be to stay within your calorie window and get your protein. So what did we do? Day 26. We weighed in at 221.8, which was an all-time low since starting the challenge, which of course we started at 230 pounds 26 days ago. Woke up, had the swig of olive oil and my Green Giant drink. I still need to show you guys how to make that. Then I had 4 eggs, a cup of chopped potato with half of an avocado. Then I had a protein kind bar. Now this is something that I actually learned from Mike O'Hearn, believe it or not. People hate on the guy, but the guy is absolutely pilled, and he uses juice as his pre-workout. So I did a cup of orange juice before my workout today, and it really I felt a lot of energy during that workout. So that might be something I start doing because I've added carbs to this deficit. So we're still in the calorie deficit, but I've added more carbs than I did at the start of this challenge, and it's allowing me to have much better workouts. So I'm theorizing that my deficit might be greater because, you know, we can track the calories we eat. We don't know exactly how many calories we burn. We know there's a baseline. So for me at 221.8 pounds, just for being alive, I might burn 2,400 calories. And, I did a lot of activity today, so but you don't know exactly how much you burned. All right, and then after that cup of orange juice, after my lift, I had a 1 1/4 pound New York strip steak, 1 boiled sweet potato with a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil on it. It was absolutely delicious. So I discovered a while ago that sweet potato is actually a delicious pairing with steak. I love sweet potato and steak. You guys saw it. Look, I've been to every 5-star steakhouse in the Houston area. That steak was as good as any steaks I've had. So it all starts with getting the prime cut from H-E-B and then cooking it properly. It was amazing, guys. For the day, 2,235 calories with 190 grams of protein, most certainly in a deficit. And one of the things we're doing that's really good that you can begin doing is just not snacking. I eat my meals and that's it. I did have that cup of orange juice with a coffee with an extra espresso shot and a dash of cream. So you could probably throw on for that cream another 20 calories, but whatever. I burned so much. So activity for the day. Woke up 6:45 a.m. on a Saturday, started walking. Walked for darn near 2 hours. Then had breakfast and that orange juice, went to the gym, absolutely did an amazing back and bicep workout. Went to failure on multiple different movements. Awesome. Came back on the way in. I stopped at HEB. I got a 1.25 pound. They cut it for me custom New York strip steak. Did it the reverse sear style of cooking. Perfect medium rare. It was delicious, guys. I'm so satisfied. And then after that dinner, I went and did a thumbnail and published a video for the YouTube channel, and I still had some energy left, so I took another 45-minute walk, guys. So I definitely think I could be at a 1,000 calorie deficit today. It would not surprise me at all if I was at a 1,200 even calorie deficit. But guys, if you're still with me, I guess you've enjoyed the video because it's been kind of a long one. If you haven't done it already, like the video. It helps the algorithm pick it up, spread it around, and of course subscribe because we want you here on this weight loss journey. We'll see you on tomorrow's video.